Some educators worry students may use ChatGPT to cheat on schoolwork. The AI tool could write reports and computer codes. It could create charts that look like those done by humans. A growing number of American school systems have since blocked ChatGPT on their computers and networks. Kui Shi and Eric Anderman are professors of educational psychology and educational technology. In their research, they have found that the main reason students cheat is their desire to do better in school. For example, some students want to get a high grade, and others want to learn all that they can about a subject. The decision to cheat or not, they say, often relates to how schoolwork and tests are built and graded. It is not as dependent on the availability of technology to make things easier. When students can rewrite a report or retake a test, if they do not do well at first, they are less likely to cheat. She and Anderman recently explained in The Conversation how teachers can use ChatGPT to increase their students' desire for learning and prevent cheating. Here are their 3 ideas for doing that. The professor's research shows that students are more likely to cheat when school assignments are designed in ways that push them to outperform their classmates. However, students are less likely to cheat when assignments lead them to work together and center on learning rather than getting a good grade. Teachers can get students to treat ChatGPT as a learning partner. That can help teachers move their students away from competition and performance to teamwork and knowledge. For example, a science teacher can assign students to work with ChatGPT to design a hydroponic vegetable garden. Students could use ChatGPT to discuss the growing requirements for vegetables and think of design ideas for a hydroponic system. These activities are designed to improve knowledge rather than just earning a good grade. Research shows that when students feel confident they can successfully do the work, they are less likely to cheat. An important way to improve students' confidence is to provide them with many ways to be successful. ChatGPT can provide those experiences by offering students individualized support and breaking down complex problems into smaller tasks. Perhaps students are asked to design a vehicle that can use gasoline more efficiently than a traditional car. Students who struggle with the project could use ChatGPT to break down the larger problem into smaller tasks. ChatGPT could suggest they first develop an overall idea for the vehicle before deciding the size of the car or what kind of fuel will be used. Teachers could also ask students to compare the steps suggested by ChatGPT with steps from other sources. Research shows personalized feedback can improve students' self-confidence. ChatGPT can be directed to deliver feedback using cheerful language. If a student does something incorrectly, ChatGPT may start a conversation with the student instead of just telling them they are wrong. Here is a real conversation from ChatGPT. Your answer is not correct, but it's completely normal to encounter occasional errors. Don't be discouraged by this small setback. You're on the right track. I'm here to support you and answer any questions you may have. You're doing great. This will help students feel supported and understood while receiving feedback for improvement. Teachers can easily show students how to direct ChatGPT to provide them with such feedback. I'm Dan Novak.
3 women started new terms as presidents at Ivy League universities in July. Their appointments mean that 6 of the 8 highly selective schools are led by a female president. Sion Beilock is now the first female president at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. Neymat Shafiq, who was born in Egypt, is the first female president at Columbia University in New York City. And Claudine Gay is the first Black person and the second woman to lead Harvard University. They joined Christina Paxson at Brown University in Rhode Island, Martha Pollack at Cornell University in New York, and Elizabeth McGill at the University of Pennsylvania. The 2 Ivies with male presidents are Princeton University in New Jersey and Yale University in Connecticut. While women lead 6 out of 8 Ivy League schools, the story is far different at other American colleges and universities. Only about 32% of college or university presidents are women. That number comes from the American Council on Education, ACE. The organization says, in its 2023 report, that the data is important because of the makeup of college students in the United States. Today, there are more women in colleges, about 60% of all students, and more minorities. But about 70% of college presidents are white and 46% are white men. Only 10% are women of color, and most college presidents are about 60 years old. Hiro Okahana led the research team for ACE's report. He called the news of the 3 new Ivy League presidents a very exciting thing to see, but he also called it an anomaly. An anomaly is a piece of information different from the expected result in a study. Choosing women and minorities, he said, sends a good message to colleges and universities, but he did have one concern.
It's important that they are bringing into a place where they were set up for success and being able to thrive as leaders. So, we'll continue to see how their presidency will shape up to be and lead these institutions toward the future.
ACE's study showed that some women who became university presidents felt they did not get enough information about the university's health before they took the job.
Felicia Commodore teaches higher education at Old Dominion University in Virginia. She wrote about the Ivy League presidents for The Conversation. Commodore suggests the news is important, but it would be a bigger story if large public universities in the U.S. had more female or Black presidents. Of note, large universities such as Ohio State, Penn State, and Texas A&M recently appointed female presidents. Carolyn Pippin is a college advisor for Ivy Wives, a company that helps students prepare for college. She said students have so many things to consider: study programs, housing, and post-graduation, they don't often think about the president. She gave Harvard as an example.
I don't think there are any students that are worried that Harvard is going to be anything other than a fantastic experience, and certainly going to set them up for success.
Some students, though, see women taking leadership positions at colleges as wonderful. That is what Eva Ayala said. She will start her second year at Colorado State University this autumn. I think that having more women in these roles really opens up pathways to allow other people, maybe of different race or gender, to step into those roles next. Colorado State appointed a female president in 2023.
Okahana, the research leader, said colleges and universities should work to widen their search for future presidents. If they are looking for leaders who better reflect their student population, they should consider business leaders, medical experts, and others. We know there are many different pathways to rise up to the college presidency, he said. Sometimes that can include people who were international students. Okahana is from Japan, and he went to college at a large university in California. He said, seeing and talking with the school's president made him think about working in higher education. And his report showed nearly 10% of American college presidents were not born in the U.S. So he said, there are some readers and listeners of this piece who might lead an institution in the United States one day. I'm Dan Friedel.
And I'm Jill Robbins.
Education officials and activists are concerned about an increase in the number of American students who are absent for many days during the school year. Education policy experts call the problem chronic absenteeism. Chronic absenteeism is defined as missing more than 10%, or about a total of 18 days, out of the school year. The 18 days do not need to be missed at one time and can be missed for any reason. Joshua Childs is a professor of education policy at the University of Texas, Austin. He said in an interview with the American Association for the Advancement of Science that, on average, 7.5 to 8 million students each year are chronically absent from school in the United States. But since the COVID-19 pandemic, that number has increased to at least 10 million a year. In Los Angeles schools, the second largest school district in the country, nearly half of students were considered chronically absent during the 2021 to 2022 school year. In Chicago, about 45% of students were chronically absent. Following the pandemic, chronic absenteeism reached levels never before seen in this community, Los Angeles Unified School District Superintendent Alberto Carvalho told reporters in February. Educators say students need to attend school regularly to be successful. Childs said being absent from school hurts students both academically and socially. Students who are chronically absent or miss a significant amount of school are more likely to drop out and are less likely to graduate from high school, Childs said. He added that students who miss a lot of school are less likely to feel connected with the school community and build relationships with other students and teachers. The Education Trust is a nonprofit education research organization. In a report published in March, the group said that poor students, students of color, and students who do not speak English at home are the most likely to miss a lot of school. Those students are also more likely to lack the ability to make up for the lost time. There are many reasons why students miss a lot of school. Childs said the lung condition of asthma, obesity, or being extremely overweight, and dental problems are the leading physical causes. Since the pandemic, mental health problems also have increased. There may also be community and neighborhood problems that play a part in attendance, Childs said. Certain conditions also can affect attendance. These include whether a student has safe transportation to and from school, or whether the school itself is a safe environment. Childs added that if families do not feel connected with the school community, or do not value education, that can add to absenteeism. The Education Trust report advised districts to deal with the underlying issues that are keeping students out of school to improve attendance. It said answers require cooperation between students, families, and the community. Traditionally, students and families have been punished for low attendance. In extreme cases, parents can be sentenced to jail if their children are absent from school too often. But punishing students and families for being absent has not been shown to improve attendance, and can even make the problem worse, the group's report said. In Los Angeles this year, improving attendance was a top issue for the district. The city hired workers to visit homes, to find students who had been absent to get them back into school. The district also hired more attendance counselors to assist families in getting housing, food, or even transportation. Los Angeles Schools Superintendent Carvalho told the Philadelphia Inquirer in May that the district had seen a 32% decrease in chronic absenteeism. The Education Trust said chronic absenteeism is a community problem that should be dealt with using community-based methods. Unless school leaders draw upon the knowledge of their students and families, they are unlikely to create effective solutions, the report said. I'm Dan Novak.